What's going on? My name is Francis, and if you're new to this channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell because I post a new video every single day. If you want to become a private client, then consider applying for a free consultation by hitting the website that's in the description box of this video. What we're going to be talking about in this video is how being present to the moment actually accelerates the law of attraction. Because when it comes to manifesting whatever it is that you want, it really comes from releasing the mental resistance to the moment that you have with whatever's happening. Because we always tell ourselves a story about our lives in our head. Our mind is always telling a story about the current situation that we're in. And if you are in mental resistance to that story, you're not going to be able to manifest whatever it is that you want. Because most people are in resistance to what is happening. But when you're in resistance, you're not putting yourself, in a position where you can actually manifest your vision and manifest the desires that you have, because your thoughts and your feelings and your actions will never be in alignment with that vision if you're in resistance to the moment that you're in right now. Because when it comes to being present to the moment, what you can do is detach from your thinking. You're not running away from your thinking, but you're simply allowing whatever thoughts that you have to be there. You can simply be the awareness, the underlying awareness in the background of the thoughts without actually attaching to them. And this is going to give you a strong foundation when it comes to actually manifesting whatever it is that you want. Because what happens is when we tell ourselves a story, usually we try to live in line with that story and stay consistent with that story. Aaron Doughty always talks about this on his YouTube channel. Because what happens is when you're unaware of your thinking, when you're attached to the thinking, this is not allowing you to fully get in alignment with your vision. Because if you're resisting the thoughts that you have, you're only going to create more of that reality, because what you resist actually persists. So the key here is to learn how to be present to the moment, because being present to the moment and manifesting are one and the same. When it comes to manifesting what you want, the best way to get there is by learning how to be present to the moment. Because here's the thing, is that when you are in resistance to the moment, like if you learn how to be present, what you're going to do is you're going to learn how to feel good internally, regardless of what happens on the external. Right? And that's how the law of attraction works, is that when you feel good internally, you will actually see an external reflection of that. But if you're not feeling good internally, you're not going to allow yourself to create the vision that you want. You're not going to allow yourself to release the doubts, to release the limiting beliefs that are in alignment with that old story. If you want to get in alignment with whatever it is that you want to create in your life, the key is to learn how to release the resistance to the current life that you have. Otherwise, you're going to be forced to live in a loop of living in that same story for the rest of your life. Because if you learn how to actually be present to the moment and enjoy the moment as it is right now, then what happens is you're now in a position to be in internal alignment with your goals, which will externally, manifest on the outside world. You're never going to be able to get that though if you keep perpetuating this old story that you may be attached to. And here's the thing, is that a lot of us are unconsciously absorbed in the thinking without realizing it, which is creating a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, and a lot of doubt. Eckhart Tolle calls this the ego meaning the unobserved mind that we're attached to. And when you're attached to this part of yourself, when you're unconsciously absorbed into thinking, you can't step out of the thinking mind and get in alignment with the present moment, find the peace and the aliveness. Like there's always this sense of awareness that's happening in the background, regardless of what happens on the external. And sometimes we depend on the external world to feel good on the inside, and then that's a problem, because what you can do is you can learn how to simply be the awareness of the external. You can simply allow it to be there. And when I say allow it to be there, I'm not saying to perpetuate it even more and feed into the negative feelings and say, I'm negative, so let's just allow this to be there. I'm saying to realize the underlying awareness that's happening in the background, where whatever happens on the external, you can kind of feel that internal peace. And then when you release that resistance by realizing that you can simply be the awareness of the situation, you can simply be the witness rather than attaching to it. Meditation is a powerful tool to do this. When you can learn how to do this, you can release the internal resistance to the external situation. You can release the internal resistance to whatever's happening, including your own thoughts. You can release the resistance to your own thoughts about the situation that you're in, which will put you in a position to manifest whatever it is that you want in a much easier way. Because you're not going to be able to manifest the life that you want to create if you are attached to the old story. Because literally, you can write any story for yourself that you want. You can create any life that you want. You can live into your vision. That's what life is about. We're creators and we're meant to live into our vision. But if you're attached to some kind of story about who you think you are that may not be true, then you're never going to live into that vision. If you have a story that you tell yourself where you're like, I'm shy, like I'm a shy person and this is who I am. Well, if you attach to that role that may have served you to a certain extent, you're never going to be able to attract a life where you can be confident, because you're attached to that, thought process of who you think you are. But then here's the interesting thing about being present to the moment and combining this with the law of attraction, is that when you can take a step back and simply be the witness of your thoughts, you're not attached to any role, you're not attached to any story, you're not attached to any role of who you think you are, any thought processes that have been conditioned from the past. You've created this ego identity of who you think you are. When you're not attached to this ego, the ego meaning the unobserved mind that we're unconsciously attached to, when you can actually not attach to who you think you are, what can happen is now you're free to play any role that you want. Now you're in a great position and you have a great foundation to literally manifest anything that you want, because you're not in resistance to any story. You can literally tell yourself like, I am something, and you can right away feel the feelings of that as if you already have it. Literally, it's just that easy. You can just tell yourself something like, I am confident, and you can start to believe you're confident. But then if you're attached to the old story, you're not going to be able to be in alignment with that thought. You're not going to have the feeling to correspond with it because you're too attached to what is. And so here's the thing, is that when you can observe what is, not attached to it, then you can replace the old story and put in a new story, but actually believe in that story, because you realize, wait a second, the old story is just a story. But if you're attached to the old story, then you try to fill it with the new story. The new story is not going to be in alignment, and you're not going to feel like it's true. You're never going to be in alignment with that vision. It's never going to work. If you're attached to the old story and try to fill in a new story, you're never going to be in alignment with the new story. New story meaning thought processes, belief systems, who you think you are, what is your self-image, what kind of feelings do you get in your body as a result of your thought processes. Because that's what the law of attraction is. But then if you just learn how to be present to the moment, naturally, you will just get into alignment with whatever you want. Eckhart Tolle has been releasing some content. He calls it conscious manifestation. Makes total sense to me. That's no surprise to me whatsoever, because if you become conscious, if you learn how to raise your awareness, raise your level of awareness, let go of the old story as a result of raising your awareness, because you can't let go of something that you're unconscious of. When you can become conscious of the old story and let it go, what's going to happen is you let go of the old story, you release the resistance to it, now you can fill it with a new story and create the life of your dreams. So being present to the moment will create the life of your dreams. That's all I have for you today. If you like this kind of content, then consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell, because I post a new video every single day. Once again, if you want to become a private client, then consider applying for a free consultation just by hitting the website that's in the description box of this video, because I do powerful one-on-one sessions. Have yourself a great day and see you in the next video.